Imagine waking up one morning, walking through the streets of your city, buying bread from your favorite shop, greeting your neighbors and making plans for the evening, completely unaware that before the day was over, your entire world would disappear. Nearly 2,000 years ago, this is what happened in the Roman city of Pompeii. It was a beautiful and prosperous city near the Bay of Naples, filled with merchants, craftsmen, politicians, families, restaurants, public baths, temples, and busy streets. People lived ordinary lives beneath a mountain they believed was simply part of the landscape. That mountain was Mount Vesuvius, but Vesuvius was not an ordinary mountain. It was a volcano. And on one terrifying day in AD 79, it would transform Pompeii forever. Before the disaster, Pompeii was alive with activity. The streets echoed with footsteps, conversations, animal carts, and the voices of merchants calling out to customers. Bakeries produced fresh bread, shops sold wine, food, clothing, and household goods. Wealthy families lived in beautifully decorated houses filled with colorful frescoes and mosaics, while workers and ordinary citizens crowded into smaller homes and businesses. The city even had public baths, theaters, temples, and an amphitheater where thousands could gather for entertainment to the people living there. This was simply home. Few could imagine that they were living beside one of the most dangerous volcanoes in Europe. But the people of Pompeii had experienced warnings. Years before the eruption, earthquakes had shaken the region, including a major earthquake in AD 62 that damaged large parts of Pompeii and neighboring towns. Some buildings were still being repaired when the final disaster came. Small tremors were not unusual, and people had no scientific understanding of volcanoes like we do today. They had no modern instruments to monitor underground magma, no emergency warning systems, no evacuation plans, and no accurate way of knowing what was happening beneath the mountain to them. Earthquakes were frightening, but they were not necessarily a reason to abandon their homes. Then came the day everything changed. The exact date of the eruption has been debated by historians because ancient evidence has been interpreted in different ways, but the catastrophe occurred in AD 79. At first, there may have been little indication of the horror that was approaching. Then Vesuvius suddenly erupted with enormous force. A massive column of volcanic material shot high into the sky, rising above the mountain like a gigantic tree made of ash and smoke. From a distance, the spectacle must have been terrifying, but many people in Pompeii may not initially have understood what they were seeing. Then the ash began to fall. At first, it may have seemed like strange dust drifting through the air, but the falling material became heavier ash, and pumice began covering rooftops, streets, courtyards, and gardens. Daylight disappeared behind a darkening sky. The city that had been filled with normal sounds suddenly became a place of confusion and fear. People tried to protect themselves. Some attempted to flee. Others remained inside their homes, hoping the eruption would stop. But the danger was increasing by the minute. Pumice continued falling from the sky, accumulating on roofs until some structures could no longer support the weight. Buildings began to collapse. Streets became difficult to navigate. Doors became blocked. People struggled to breathe as volcanic material filled the air. Families searched for one another while others desperately tried to escape the city. And then there was another danger, one that would prove far more deadly. Eruption generated hot currents of volcanic gas, ash, and rock, known as pyroclastic. pyroclastic flows and surges. These moved with terrifying speed and carried enormous heat, unlike the slow streams of lava people often imagine when they hear the word volcano. These currents could race across the landscape and overwhelm anyone caught in their path. For those still in Pompeii, there was almost no time to react. Some people had already escaped. Others had remained behind. Archaeological discoveries show that victims were found in different locations throughout the city, suggesting that people responded to the disaster in different ways. Some sought shelter inside buildings. Others tried to flee. Some were caught outdoors. Their final moments were frozen in the layers of volcanic material that buried the city. Nearby, Herculaneum suffered a different fate. It was also overwhelmed by volcanic material, but the deposits there preserved organic.